and only Ford offers you so much for so little. For example,
Only Ford offers 21 models to choose from, including this Ford Skyliner, the world's only hideaway hardtop.
Only Ford in its field has double-sealed brakes to keep water and dirt out of the brake system.
Only Ford in its field has a hood that's hinged at the front. Makes it almost impossible to fly open while you're driving.
Only Ford in its field offers a truly modern short-stroke six for best all-around performance.
And only Ford offers Thunderbird V8 power and a choice of 5 great V8 engines.
Only Ford in its field offers 2 different body sizes.
Only Ford in its field has an automatic transmission that automatically does so many different things.
Only Ford in its field gives you such big tail lights for extra safety.
Only Ford in its field has a 2-position door check. 1, 2, for greater convenience.
And only Ford costs so little. It's the lowest price of the low-priced 3.
Ford and only Ford offers you so much for so little. See the new kind of Ford at your Ford dealers. When a new 1957 Ford arrives in the neighborhood, you can be pretty sure that one of the first admirers on the scene will be, that's right, the young expert who lives next door.
Boy, what a spaceship this'd make.
Well, it may not have quite the range for a trip to outer space, Tommy, but it sure has the mark of tomorrow in every line. It's the new kind of Ford for 57, the largest, longest, lowest Ford ever built. No matter how you look at it, from the new contoured headlights to the dashing high cant of the tail fins, Ford's sculptured lines say action. The rakish modern slant of the thinner windshield pillars make cars with vertical pillars look middle-aged. The new steering wheel permits easier handling and gives you more room. The instruments are clustered within easy view of the driver, and all controls are recessed for greater safety. And the new luxury lounge interiors are the greatest.
Now, how about a real ride, Tommy? Where to?
In this car? Gee, anywhere.
And anywhere was never closer or more fun to get to than in the new 1957 Ford.
Daddy, wait, let me do it.
You're never too young or too old for the kind of fun you get in the new kind of Ford Sunliner. Although you really can expect an 8-year-old to appreciate some of the more practical features, such as the fact that this rugged top has double-sealed and double-stitched seams, and it's fade-resistant, too. All he knows is that top-up or top-down, this longer and lower-than-ever Ford is the best-looking car on the block. Okay, now climb in back. And don't worry about those feet. Ford's easy-to-clean vinyl upholstery was designed with small boys in mind. All set? Then...
Blast off!
Under that hood is the same mighty V8 engine that made the Thunderbird famous. It can really put the wind in your hair in a hurry. And at any speed, on any road, you'll get a smooth, floating on clouds ride that's unlike anything ever offered by any low-priced car. Hard to believe, isn't it, that this is the lowest-priced convertible in America. No wonder, year after year, the Ford Sunliner outsells all other convertibles. It's the greatest. Right?
Right.
This is the new kind of Ford, a low-priced car that not only looks, rides, and handles like an expensive car, but sounds like one, too. And how a car sounds is a good indication of how well it is built. When you slam the trunk lid of a Ford, for instance, you hear a good, solid sound. And each time you open and close the precision-fitted doors, you hear further proof of Ford's solid construction. Even the quiet hum of the power windows and four-way power seat reflects quality craftsmanship. Now there's a sound that signals adventure ahead, the distinctive sound of Thunderbird V8 power. And of course, every Ford owner gets used to hearing this. But most of the time, all you'll ever hear will be the quiet ticking of the clock or music on the radio. Distracting road and engine noise just can't get in, because this Ford is the most thoroughly insulated and sound-conditioned car in its field. Action test this new kind of Ford soon. What you hear and don't hear will be further proof that the 57 Ford is the fine car at half the fine car price. It's Saturday morning, and as usual, there are a lot of station wagons in town, most of them Fords. There's Mrs. Johnson in her new two-door Del Rio. She tried them all and finally decided on a Ford because it's so easy to drive and park. It doesn't have that truck feel some other wagons have. And as for style, well, have you ever seen a better-looking station wagon? At the boatyard, Ed Wilson's loading his 6-passenger country sedan for a weekend fishing trip. Wonder if Ed still remembers the days when he had to tie that boat on top of his car. Well, he sure has plenty of inside room now, over 34 square feet of it. Speaking of room, just look at this gang pile into that 9-passenger country sedan. The whole team can travel together now, and in real solid comfort. Their Ford is powered by the Thunderbird V8 engine. That's the very same engine that made the Thunderbird famous. Here are a couple of hard workers, Tim McDonald and his business partner, a Ford ranch wagon. Mac has to keep an eye on costs, and he was really impressed when he found out what a low price tag this station wagon carried. In fact, model for model, right up to this distinguished 9-passenger country Squire, all 5 Ford station wagons are the lowest priced of the low-priced 3. No wonder they're America's most popular. Most days, Mulberry Street is pretty quiet. But you should have seen all the excitement the day Bob Jordan sprung his big surprise on the neighborhood. Nobody had ever seen anything quite like this new kind of Ford, the Skyliner, the world's only hideaway hardtop. Naturally, everyone wanted to see how it worked, and just as naturally, Bob wanted to show them. He pulled the control lever, and the magic started. First, the rear deck lid swung up. Next, the all-steel top automatically began to rise. Then the forward panel folded under. The top continued to move back and down, and finally descended smoothly into the trunk. You saw it happen, from an all-steel hardtop to a wide-open convertible in less than a minute. But do you think this crowd was satisfied?
Yeah, do it again, Bob.
Please put the top back up.
And Bob obliged. He knows that the mechanism that operates this retractable top will take all the hard use he can give it, which means he can show it off to his friends all he likes. Ford engineers have tested this car by putting the top up and down thousands of times, the equivalent of 10 years of normal use without a mechanical failure. This steel top is plenty rugged, too, and weather-tight. There, the last step. Set screws lock the roof and deck lid down securely, and it's a snug and beautiful hardtop again. This is another example of Ford's advanced engineering, another Ford first. Ask your Ford dealer about the new Ford Skyliner, the world's only hideaway hardtop. Ahoy, mate! Having fun? You bet she is. She's proud of her boat and proud of her 1957 Ford. You can tell she appreciates beautiful design. The graceful symmetry of this most elegant Ford ever sets a new standard of automotive styling. See the 1957 Ford soon. Out west, when boy meets girl, boy gets girl. It's all part of the fun at a dude ranch. And if you go for the outdoor life, you'll go for the 1957 Ford Sunliner. Its new long, low silhouette and smartly styled vinyl interiors make the Sunliner the most thrilling version yet of America's favorite convertible. The 1.5 gainer, fun to watch, fun to perform. And have you ever noticed that wherever exciting things are happening, there's usually a 1957 Ford nearby? This is the Ford Fairlane 500 Club Victoria. It's over 17 feet long and lower, more beautiful and more powerful. See and action test the new kind of Ford soon.
Come and get it!
It's Chuck Wagon breakfast time out west where the fun begins. And this 9-passenger Ford Country sedan fits right in. It's one of 5 Ford station wagons for 1957, America's most popular station wagons. And each one is lower, longer, wider, more powerful than ever. See the 57 Ford soon. Wherever you find folks having fun in the sun, chances are you'll find a 1957 Ford Sunliner, America's best-selling convertible. And it's not just a fair weather favorite either. Ford's double-seal, double-stitch top will keep you snug come rain or come shine. And it's fade-resistant, too. See it soon, and here's where. From the first drive to the last putt, the game of golf is an exciting one. And from your very first drive in a 1957 Ford, you'll know that here is another kind of excitement that'll always seem new. That's why you see so many new Fords wherever there are people who are really enjoying life. Action test this new kind of Ford soon. Here's where. It was a smooth flight, not a bump all the way. And for this man, the rest of the way home will be just as smooth. That's because he'll be riding in a 1957 Ford, the heaviest, most comfortable Ford ever built. Enjoy a big car ride in a low-price car. Action test the all-new kind of Ford for 1957. And here's where. Who's moving in? Well, we haven't met them yet, but we do know they're starting their suburban life off right with 2 Fords. Hers is the versatile Del Rio Ranch Wagon. His is the handsome Custom 300 2-door sedan. Have you found out yet that 2 Fords are easier and smarter to own than one high-priced car? Here's where you can get the facts.
Boldly modern styling, functional styling, now can be yours in a truck. Here's Ford's 1957 pickup with style-side body, standard at no extra cost. These straight-back sides give you the largest pickup body in the truck industry. And when you take the wheel, you'll experience new comfort, riding and handling ease that's mighty close to that of a car. Test ride Ford Style Side at your Ford dealer soon. They're boldly modern, modern through and through. New 57 Ford trucks. Look, it's more than a car. Look again, it's more than a truck. It's the new Ford Ranchero. Here, one of Ford's new tilt cabs from America's lowest price tilt cab line. And this modern pickup with style side body, the most load space of any pickup. It's standard at no extra cost from Ford. See your Ford dealer soon. Now at last the style and efficiency of modern air transport is matched on the ground. Look, it's more than a car. Look again, it's more than a truck. It's the new Ford Ranchero. Look, sleek as any show pony, it rides and handles like a car. Look again, it's a real pack horse too. Handles more than half a ton. Price, less than you may think. See your Ford dealer.
Let's visit Beverly Hills, California, where the word fabulous has become an understatement. One of the wealthiest communities in America, it's also one of the most fun-loving and most glamorous. Here you'll find more movie stars per square acre than anywhere else. And here you will also find more 1957 Fords registered than any other new car. These people can afford the best, but they buy wisely. And they found that automotive luxury does not necessarily begin with an expensive car. For in this new kind of Ford, they've discovered comfort and elegance that definitely makes the 57 Ford a bright new entry in the fine car field. They know that in any setting, in any company, the graceful styling of the new Ford will fit right in. Ford's mighty Thunderbird V8 engine, now available with up to 300 supercharged horsepower, is made to order for these always-on-the-go Californians. And they go more smoothly, too, for the heavier 57 Ford offers the first big car ride in the low-price field. Above all, they found that the new Ford is as much fun to own as it is easy to own. No wonder that here in Beverly Hills, as in communities all over the country, Ford is outselling every other make of car. It's the fine car at half the fine car price.
This is my stakeout, Times Square, the toughest hack stand in the world. Name's Bud Turner, number 2475. And this is my cab, a 57 Ford. Nice looking, huh? Well, you should see it in action. For instance, the other day I pick up a fare at the Plaza Hotel. Now, this guy's really in a hurry. Take me to Idlewild Airport, he says. I got 30 minutes to catch a plane. Okay, I said, relax. This baby'll get you there. Well, you should see the way that Ford threads a needle through them crosstown streets. Maneuvers like a fly on a hot dime. And take off from a light, man, like one of them jets. Except for the noise, of course. Because this Ford's so quiet that most of the time all I can hear is the meter ticking. Well, we make the airport in a breeze and I make a nice fat tip because my fare says this is the sweetest riding cab he's ever been in. New York's like that. Everybody in a hurry. But that's okay with me. This Ford will out-hustle any other cab on the street. It'll hold up longer, too. I've got 32,000 miles on it already, and it's still tight as a drum. When you have to drive for a living, might as well drive the best, I say.
New York taxicab companies are buying more 57 Fords than any other make. When you action test the new kind of Ford, you'll know why. Have you visited a Ford dealership lately? If you haven't, here's why it's to your advantage to do so right away.
This is the end of the 57 model year. And frankly, we're anxious to make room for the 1958 Fords. That's why we're offering you the best trade-in now on a 57 Ford.
Ford is America's best-selling car, and we intend to keep our leadership by selling more and more Fords. If you've been waiting for the best possible deal, don't delay any longer. This is it.
You'll get years ahead sculptured styling, the world's favorite V8 engine, and a rugged new inner Ford that gives you a smoother, quieter ride.
And don't forget, your Ford will have a higher resale value because you bought it late in the model year.
All year, Ford's been the lowest priced of the low-price 3. And right now, it's a better buy than ever. Don't put it off any longer. See your Ford dealer soon.
These are the Thunderbirds, United States Air Force jet demonstration team. Their F-100 Super Sabres are powered by Pratt & Whitney J57 engines, manufactured by the Ford Aircraft Engine Division. Now, here are 3 more super performers from Ford. The 1957 Ford Thunderbirds. You're looking at the latest version of America's most talked-about car. For 57, Ford has shaped the classic Thunderbird profile into a completely fresh, completely distinctive style all its own. New swept-back tail fins and the longer rear deck add elegance to its lower-than-ever lines. These new dimensions give you more luggage room, too. Even with a spare tire inside, you get more luggage space than last year. You know, there's not another car like it in America. It's powered by a big 312 cubic inch V8 engine with twin 4-barrel carburetors. You'll have to look far to find a performer that can match this one. Or will you? Well, birds of a feather fly together, and only the new kind of Ford for 57 has the Thunderbird's kind of go. This new Sunliner, for example, is powered by the same mighty V8 engine that's in the Thunderbird. Here's the new Fairlane 500 Town Victoria. It has the mark of tomorrow in every detail, like the new swept-back windshield pillars. This is Ford's custom 300 four-door sedan. Only Ford in the low-price field gives you this choice of 2 longer sizes. And speaking of size, just size up this new country sedan, one of 5 Ford station wagons. Visit your Ford dealer and find out about the new kind of fun you can have in the new kind of Ford. Birds of a feather fly together. Now, you'll probably never pilot an F-100 Super Sabre, but you can pilot a mighty new Ford Thunderbird, America's automotive classic, or a new Ford Sunliner, America's most popular convertible. And remember, the very same V8 engine that powers the famous Thunderbird is available in every 1957 Ford. Action test Thunderbird V8 power today.
This is Daytona Beach, Florida. Let's watch the Fords go by to victory. From a standing start, a 300 horsepower 1957 Ford V8 out-accelerated every other low-priced car. A stock Ford Thunderbird took first place in its class for the flying mile, outperforming all American production sports cars. In the National Amateur Sports Car Race, a modified Thunderbird finished first in its class, topping every American sports car and winning the Paul Whiteman and Sports Illustrated trophies. And a modified Thunderbird won 2 unlimited classes against all American and European competition. It made the flying mile in the fastest time recorded by any car at Daytona, and in the standing mile, out-accelerated all other cars in Daytona Beach history.
It's a pretty impressive record, isn't it? Ford Thunderbirds, like this one, were responsible for many wins. Other Fords figured in many more, but remember this. All the point-winning Fords were powered by the Ford Thunderbird V8 engine. Now, this is the engine that made the Thunderbird famous. The same V8 engine that's available to you in any Ford model you choose. It'll deliver championship performance in every kind of driving situation. But prove to yourself why Ford goes first at the meets and on the streets. Find out what a difference Thunderbird V8 power can make in your kind of driving. Visit your Ford dealer soon. Ask to action test Thunderbird V8 power in the new kind of Ford for 1957.
Guy Mitchell sings.
Well, I never felt more like singing hooray. Just drove a new Ford, and I'm here to say it's all new. It's sure a new kind of Ford. Well, no car for the dough is a car so long. No car for the dough is so rugged and strong. And in Ford, you get a new kind of ride. The frame inside this Ford is new. There's new ball joint suspension too. They ride you oh so sweet and low. You'll never know there's bumps below. So just amble on down. The going is great. Just pick you a 6 or a Thunderbird 8. Come try Ford. Come drive a new kind of Ford.
See your Ford dealer.
This man is a comparison shopper. It's his job to visit different stores and check what one is offering against what the others are offering. Let's see what happens when he visits a Ford dealership and compares the 1957 Ford against the other low-priced cars. He's got a list of features to check, and we're sure that what he finds out will interest you as a new car buyer. First, he looks at Ford's heavy one-piece wraparound bumper and makes a note that no other car in the low-price field has this one-piece construction. Now, he checks Ford's lower sloping hood and sees that it's hinged at the front, so that it's very unlikely that it would ever unlatch and fly up while you're driving. He makes another note that Ford's windshield pillars are the only ones in the low-price field that slant back like this. You've seen this feature on high-priced cars, but only Ford gives you this advanced styling in the low-price field. Next, he checks Ford's thin center pillars that give every Fairlane and Fairlane 500 sedan the look of a hardtop when the windows are up. Here again, Ford stands alone in its price class. And when he examines Ford's sleek, new rear-end styling, he notices that a Ford doesn't have the high, narrow box look he's seen in some other cars. The tail fins are sculptured and sweep out of the body for a trim, low look. And Ford's tail lights are the largest in its field. And the optional backup lights are built right in, not tacked on like other cars, for a real sleek touch. You'll find most all of these same features in the low-priced Custom and Custom 300 Fords, too, plus features you can get in other cars only if you pay the deluxe model prices. Be a comparison shopper yourself. Check the new kind of Ford against the others. You'll find the 57 Ford gives you more value per dollar than any other car.
Good evening. I'm Steve Dunn, and tonight we're going to preview the new glamour car of the automotive industry, the 1957 Ford. And here with us to introduce this new kind of Ford is Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Thank you, Steve. You know, I've been hounding Steve all day long to do this. I'm really excited about these new 57 Fords. I couldn't wait for tomorrow night when my new show begins. I wanted to be the first to introduce them right here and now. So let's meet the new kind of Ford for 57. So how's that for an eye full of pretty cars? This is the new Fairlane 500 Town Victoria. Look at those lines. Steve, give me those statistical facts once again, will you?
Well, Ernie, it's the longest, lowest, largest car ever offered in the low-price field.
Bigger than lots of those medium-priced cars, too, Steve. And new? Well, if you had X-ray vision, you'd see a chassis under here like you've never seen before. It gives it that long, low, raring-to-go look. And more room inside, too. Oh, you're pretty. And you know something? For 57, Ford is the only low-priced car to come in two different sizes. The Fairlane and Fairlane 500 models measure over 17 feet long. That's longer than any other low-priced car. And the Custom and Custom 300 models, like this big four-door sedan, they're over 16 feet long. But you haven't seen anything yet. Fellas, could we please take a look at Ford's new country sedan? Thank you. Folks out my way are buying station wagons more and more of them are buying Fords. This 9-passenger country sedan is just one of 5 Ford's offering this year. All just as pretty as this. Hey, Steve, time for dessert? All set, Ernie. Looky there. Pretty? That's the newest version of the Ford Sunliner, most popular convertible ever invented.
And as for power, the 57 Ford has already proved itself with record-breaking performances at Bonneville and Indianapolis.
Go ahead, you're doing fine.
And these 57 Fords give you the widest choice of engines in the field, from the 6 to this special Thunderbird V8.
Click its tail, Steve. You hear that cat purr? If you want to hear more, step in and see your Ford dealer. And say, don't forget to watch your Uncle Ern on his new Ford show tomorrow night. Special guest, Miss Greer Garson, on another network.
Ford Theater has been brought to you by Ford and the Ford dealers of your community, who invite you to come in and action test the new kind of Ford for 57.
Now, you're going to see the car they all said couldn't be built. All except the folks at Ford, that is. Here, making its first appearance on the Ford show, is the new Ford Skyliner, the world's only hideaway hardtop. Now, you may think you're looking at a longer, redesigned Ford Victoria. But what you're really seeing is an engineering miracle, the kind that can only come from Ford. And if you think the word miracle is an exaggeration, you just watch. Would you do the honors, please? All you do is pull the control button, and the magic starts. First, the Skyliner's longer deck lid opens up wide. Next, the all-steel roof unlocks itself and swings up. The forward panel here folds under, and the top continues to move back, and then down. All of this sort of makes you wonder what those masterminds at Ford Engineering are going to think up next, doesn't it? The top vanishes completely into the trunk. The deck lid closes down over it, and finally, automatic screws lock it tight into place. Well, you saw it. From a steel hardtop to a wide-open convertible in less than a minute. Was I right in calling this car an engineering miracle? I'll say it is. It's the car of the future, just as sure as its name is Ford.
Thank you. Good evening. You know, a few weeks ago, Ford asked me to introduce for the first time on television their newest Ford, the car that was the outstanding hit of the recent New York Auto Show. I consider it a privilege. But before I even had a chance to see the car myself... Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi, honey.
Guess where I am?
The North Pole?
I'm at the Ford dealers having a sneak preview, and I've just seen the most fascinating car in the world.
Yeah, I know. The 57 Ford is a beautiful car, especially the convertible. Which one are you looking at?
The newest Ford of them all, the retractable hardtop.
The what kind of hardtop?
Retractable. Believe it or not, it has a steel top, and when you pull a little button, it automatically disappears into the trunk.
What disappears into the trunk? The button?
No, silly, the top. The roof. There's a salesman demonstrating it now. Watch. All he does is pull a button. And look, it's magic.
What's magic?
The deck lid is going up.
The what?
The roof is folding up.
The roof is falling up.
The whatchamacallit is making like a jackknife.
Lucy, come home. You're delirious.
The whole car is turning itself inside out.
Now, look, honey, get a hold of yourself.
The trunk just swallowed the roof.
Lucy, please. Lucy, now get hold of yourself. Lay down, honey. Don't move. I'll be right over there.
Now it's an open convertible. Hello? Hello? Come back. I want you to see it go up.
It's the world's most exciting car, the new Ford retractable hardtop. Another first from Ford. Ford, first again with the world's only retractable hardtop. And the Ford dealers of your community present the I Love Lucy Show. Starring Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
Well, this is it, sir, the newest Ford of them all, the retractable hardtop.
What do you mean retractable hardtop? It's an open convertible, isn't it?
The top is inside the trunk, sir.
Oh, you mean a steel top?
Exactly, a steel top. Why don't you get in and raise the top yourself?
Yeah,
I'll do it, dear. You just stand and watch.
Honey, I'm the man in the family. Let me do it.
You don't have to be a man to do it. Anyone can do it.
Lucy, honey, look, you know how to take ice cubes out of a refrigerator, but this is an automobile. It's a complicated machinery. Women just don't understand. Hey, Lucy, put on the brakes. The trunk is open.
Just be calm, dear.
It's all right, sir. You see, it's all automatic. When you press the roof control, the rear deck lid sweeps up. The roof rises out of the trunk, swings up. Watch it now. And finally, set screws automatically lock the roof to the windshield. There. From an open convertible with room inside for a weekend's worth of luggage to a hardtop, all in a matter of seconds.
Oye, caramba, te quiero comprar el coche. ¿Cuánto dinero tú quieres? Te doy ahora mismo el dinero que tú quieras.
What did he say?
I don't know, but I think the gleam in his eye means you're getting through to him.
Isn't it wonderful, honey? I like to put the top down, may I? Of course. Move over, Ernie. It's my turn now.
All right, all right. Some men are just like little boys when it comes to a new Ford.
Yeah, well, I know, but move over. Let me do it.
You've just witnessed the happiest revolution in motoring pleasure that ever took place. A revolution made possible by Ford's advanced engineering. Again, Ford goes first with the world's most exciting automobile. I Love Lucy, starring Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, has been presented by Ford and the Ford dealers of your community, who invite you to come in and action test the new kind of Ford for 1957. Directed by William Asher, featuring Vivian Vance and William Frawley. Written for television by Madeline Martin, Bob Carroll Jr., Bob Schiller, Bob Weisskopf. Produced by Desi Arnaz. Desi Lou production. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz will be back next week at the same time. Ford also brings you Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theater on Friday nights on the CBS network.
Lincoln, unmistakably the finest. The Big M Mercury with dream car design. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your Lincoln dealer and your Mercury dealer present the Ed Sullivan Show. Named America's #1 TV variety show, starring the nationally syndicated columnist of the New York Daily News, Ed Sullivan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here backstage with me are some of the stars you're going to see in what we think is a very unusual show tonight. Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, if so, I want to show you how you can have next year's new car features at this year's closeout prices. I'll explain that to you, and I'm going to become a little Rembrandt here, because starting with this Mercury rear window, I'm going to prove that there's already a lot of 58 in the 1957 Big M. See that? That proves it, doesn't it? Now let's take our Big M Turnpike Cruiser. You just touch a button on this one, and the power-controlled rear window glides right down to give you breezeway ventilation. Now, this is a feature that you probably won't find on any 58 car in the Big M's price class. It is available now in the 57 Turnpike Cruiser. Now the Big M station wagon, and watch, because right through Mercury's rear window as it slides out of the tailgate. Tell you, let's see that one again. We'll back it up, and you keep your eye on that rear window. Another feature you won't find on most 58 station wagons. And next, as we brush away the snow on this hot day here in New York, here's a close-up of the Big M's advanced quadra-beam headlamps. Now, other cars will follow Mercury's lead in 58, but you can order these quadra-beams now on any 57 Big M. And here's a 57 Mercury exclusive you probably won't be able to order on any other 58 car. The power seat that remembers. You just set this dial to your favorite driving position, turn on the ignition, and the seat moves to the setting just right for you. And now switch off the ignition and the seat glides all the way back. Makes it easier for you to get in and out. And on again, and it returns to the last setting on the dial. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree that I have shown you just a few examples of how far ahead Mercury jumped in 57. There are a lot more like, oh, there's so many more, like dream car design, floating rod, power booster fan, keyboard control. Now, most of the 58 cars actually won't even have many of these features. So you shrewd buyers who want to step up to the big car class on a small car budget, you take advantage of your Mercury dealer's closeout bargains right now. And remember what Sullivan said. There's already a lot of 58 in the 57 Mercury. Our next guest, immediate guest, is not only very good looking, but it has been said that he has brains to match. Now watch him show these tire kickers the really smart way to buy a good used car.
Now wait a minute. There's a better way to find a good used car.
For better used cars, take it from Ed.
Look for the Safe Buy seal.
At Lincoln Mercury, remember he said,
Look for the Safe Buy seal.
for better used cars.
Link model used cars.
Rock bottom price.
Best deal by far.
For better used cars, take it from Ed.
Look for the Safe Buy seal. Just looking in this Look magazine here at the pictures of Ted Williams and Gil McDougall and Billy Pierce and Nellie Fox and all the rest of them who are on the Look All-America team. But right now, before you meet them, here is the Beau Brummel of our show, Lee Stevens, with a preview of the Gentleman's False Chapeau.
How do you like them, Ed? Latest fall fashions. I brought them along to show that no matter which one you choose, you'll have plenty of hat room in a Mercury. Now, to prove that, here's a picture they took of me in the front seats of our Montclair. There's headroom to spare, even with this old-fashioned silk topper. And look at Mercury's front seat, wide enough for 1, 2, 3 big men. That's real big car comfort. Now the back seat. We took 3 sets of identical twins, put half of them on the back seats of another well-known car in the Big M's price class. Then we put the other half on the Big M back seat. Notice the difference. Look at all that extra shoulder room. Mercury gives you more space to stretch out. Now back here, see how the projectile on the rear fender slopes out? Well, that means a bigger trunk, a wider trunk, big enough for all this luggage stowed neatly inside. Enough luggage to build a wall as high and as wide as the Mercury itself. Watch. And oh yes, even the TV set. Mercury, a big trunk in a big car. Now, how much does it cost to move up to a Big M? Far less than Mercury's big size and dream car styling might lead you to believe. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say that your budget has always kept you in the small car class. Well, right now, smart buyers know that it's easier than ever to stay well within that budget and move up to this big, beautiful Mercury Monterey. One reason is that Monterey prices start just above the 3 low-price cars. Reason number 2, it's closeout time now at your Mercury dealers, and he's giving extra generous trade-in allowances. So this week, see your Big M dealer and find out how easy it is to step out of the ordinary and into a 1957 Mercury.
I just think that recently when I was out in Indianapolis, out there the whole city and the whole state of Indiana were dancing to and singing and dancing all around the lot. The Banana Boat song of the Tarriers, and they were singing Cinco Robles of Russell Arms and I Love My Baby of Jill Corey's. The reason I was out there in Indianapolis, I was attending the annual banquet held there in connection with the famous Indianapolis 500-mile auto race. Now here with me is Tony Holman, the Terre Haute product, who is president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Here on my right, this big fellow here, is Jack Reed, who heads up the entire Mercury organization. And standing next to Mr. Reed is a fellow all of you sports fans will recognize because he is Jimmy Bryan, the present United States Auto Club champion driver. Now, Tony, would you answer a question for me? How come this year you picked the Mercury as the pace car for your tremendous Memorial Day race?
Well, Ed, that honor always goes to the car that, in our opinion, shows the year's biggest advance in styling and performance.
And in your opinion, then, the Big M satisfies both counts?
Yes, it does, easily. Jack Reed and his gang out at Mercury have done a bang-up job. The 57 Big M is several years ahead in styling. You can get a really tremendous engine, up to 290 horsepower. And well, all in all, Ed, the Big M is the car of the year.
Tony, thank you very, very much. Now, Jack Reed, along with this latest charming accolade from Tony's group, I imagine that you're especially pleased with the way the public has accepted Mercury's new styling.
Ed, all of us at Mercury are delighted with the reaction we've gotten. It's been a spontaneous thing, too, sort of contagious. One fellow drives a Mercury home, and pretty soon he has a half a dozen neighbors around, all talking about dream car design.
Well, Jack, suppose we take a look at that dream car design.
Well, there's a beautiful example right over there, Ed.
Oh, the new convertible cruiser, and it is a real beauty. So that's the model that will do the actual pace car honors next Memorial Day.
That's right, Ed. We've chosen the convertible cruiser because it most typifies Mercury's dream car design.
It's really a knockout.
Well, it has the same straightness of lines, the feeling of bigness and mass without bulk. And as you pointed out, Ed, this basic styling found on all Mercurys has captured the imagination of car buyers everywhere. In fact, in order to meet this tremendous buyer demand, we've had to increase our production by 40% for the months of January and February. Actually, right now, we have more people at work building Mercurys than at any time in the history of the Mercury car.
That's terrific, Jack. And I imagine the new Big M ride is at a certain measure contributing. Don't you think, to the success of it?
Well, I can vouch for that, Ed. You see, I've driven this new Mercury, and she's really got roadability.
She really sticks.
It really sticks. As you know, I won quite a few races last year with the Mercury. But
I remember that very, very well.
Well, this new one tops them all. Mercury's really got tremendous getaway, Ed, but mainly it's the way she rides, the way she levels on the curves.
In other words, good roadability.
The best, Ed.
Well, now, what gives, Jimmy, I'm going to ask you as a racing driver, what gives Mercury better roadability than other cars?
Well, a lot of things, Ed. Mercury has better weight distribution, for one thing. They've got all new shock absorbers, new springing, and a new swept-back ball joint front suspension.
Well, Tony, sounds to me as though all of you experts agree that Mercury is quite a car.
That's right, Ed.
Well, Tony, I would certainly like to thank you and your associates for selecting Mercury as the official pace car for the Indianapolis 500-mile Classic this year. We at Mercury are proud indeed that you rate the Big M as the car with the greatest advancement in styling and performance in 1957.
Now, you take it from Sullivan. These auto experts here know what they're talking about. And the Big M 457 is the car of the year. Hey, tell you what, come on back out here and let us take another look at your very lovely inaugural ball gown.
Thank you.
Now, Julia, I understand that actually you were just in Washington and you had a chance to drive around in one of the many Lincolns to be used in the inaugural parade tomorrow.
Yes, I was, Ed. As a matter of fact, I had the opportunity to drive my Lincoln along the actual route the parade will take. And I'd like to show you how it looks. Appropriately enough, Ed, the first place we visited was the Capitol. Surely one of the most thrilling sights in the world. It's the focal point of the city, and right over there where you see the stands, the inauguration itself will take place. And the parade tomorrow begins right here, and so will we. Although it was very cold, I had the top down on my long, low Lincoln convertible, so I was riding just as the people will be riding in the parade tomorrow. I drove away from the Capitol toward the stately Supreme Court building. And right away, my lovely Lincoln attracted as much attention as if it were leading a parade. I followed the stands along Pennsylvania Avenue, past the National Gallery of Art, where you can see some of the world's finest art treasures, and then by the Washington Monument. And I thought how perfectly my new Lincoln fitted into the beautiful setting of this lovely city. It had started to snow, so I put the top up and drove to where the parade will end, at the White House, where the president, the vice president, and their guests will review the parade. As I started back, I was reminded of something I'd noticed, that from the number of Lincolns in Washington, more and more of the most important people were driving the finest car, Lincoln. For example, later that evening when I arrived at the Carlton Hotel for dinner with friends, the doorman complimented me on my lovely Lincoln. Later he told me that with all the social activities in Washington these days, he had noticed so many more people were arriving in new Lincolns. And as I was standing with my friends at the entrance of the hotel, I saw evidence of this myself. I was convinced, as I am wherever I go, that Lincoln stands out as unmistakably the finest in the fine car field.
You're so right about that, Julia, and as Julia just told you, when you see the parade tomorrow on most of our CBS TV stations, you'll be seeing many of lovely Lincolns in it, as well as the beautiful Continental Mark II. Thank you, hon. In the evening, you're going to meet here Jane Mansfield. You golfers are going to meet Sam Snead with one particular tip for you in the springtime. Going to meet Gene Austin, Will Jordan, Bill Kenny, the Ink Spots. But right now, we're going to ask you to pretend that you are a TV camera.
Hi there. Just getting our sign ready. Only 2 words, but very important. Pick and save. You pick from the stock of Mercuries we have on hand, and you save plenty. Go ahead inside. Right into our Mercury showroom. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Wait a second, I'll get some of these lights. There. See all those Mercuries on display? Beautiful, aren't they? Well, right now is our peak selling season. And if you order from stock and save us the trouble of a... Wait a second. Wait a minute. Before you look, let me tell you about Pick and Save. As I said, if you pick a car from stock and save us the trouble of a special order, we're ready to pass big savings on to you. Pick and save, see? And if you act now, you'll find a tremendous selection of colors and models from which to choose. Now, go ahead and look. Look at the styling. Green car design. Long, clean, unbroken lines. The V-angle taillights. You won't find this look on any other car this year. Except other Mercuries, of course. Now I'd like to show you something that most cars seem to have forgotten this year. It's an old-fashioned thing called comfort. Look how easy it is to get inside. Plenty of knee room and foot room. And say, this is great. How about this? All of the headroom and hat room that you'll ever need. Now let me show you some more features that you won't find on any other car except a Big M. Say, wait a minute. Where are you going? Oh, no, I'm sorry. You can't sign the order tonight. Mercury showrooms don't open until tomorrow morning. But I can tell you that because Mercury sales are going so great, you'll get a terrific trade-in allowance for your old car. Okay? Now take another look around. And be sure and tell anyone who's interested in a good deal on a Mercury, this is the time to pick from stock and save big money. Another thing, you won't have to wait for delivery. You can pick out your Big M and drive it away the very same day. But it's for a limited time only, while your dealer still has a tremendous selection. So act now. Take your choice. Remember, pick and save at all Mercury dealers tomorrow.
And you've all met Jane Mansfield in person in your living rooms, I'd suggest you read her Saturday Evening Post story. It comes out this next Wednesday. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, Lee Stevens is going to show you how to get more for your money when you buy a car. Lee?
All right, Ed. The best way to judge a car is to compare it with the other cars selling at about the same price.
First, let's take visibility. This cardboard cutout is the exact size of the rear window in our Mercury Monterey four-door sedan. Notice that it's all one piece, which means you see more. This cutout is the exact size of our competitors' rear windows. They have these old-fashioned posts that cut down on what you see. Now, look at the difference. Mercury gives you all this extra glass area in the rear window alone. Next, let's take the package tray, which, as you know, is this area, the shelf area between the rear seat and the rear window. Now, this package tray was taken from a Mercury, while this one came from a competitive car. Now look, Mercury, all metal. The competitive package tray, well, you can see for yourself. Now I'd like to show you another way that Mercury is made better to give you more for your money. It's a comparison between two hoods, one taken from a Mercury, the other from a competitive car. Now listen. Mercury, heavy and solid. The other car sounds thin and hollow. Well, looking at it from this side, you can see why. No reinforcement and no insulation. But Mercury gives you big, heavy, double panel construction and plenty of insulation. And I don't have to tell you that insulation means less noise, a quieter ride.
Now remember the demonstrations that Lee just showed you compared our Mercury Monterey with cars costing just about the same. And actually there are only a few of the ways that Mercury gives you more for your money. So tomorrow see your Mercury dealer and take your choice. Take advantage of his terrific pick and save special. And make your move to the big, new dream car, Mercury. Now, very shortly, we are going to present here Sophie Tucker and Myron Cohn and more movie stars than you can shake a stick at. But now, get set for a thrill because we're going to put you in the driver's seat of a dream car.
The 1957 Mercury. Go ahead, take the wheel. Touch the keyboard control. Feel your dream car come to life. The 1957 Mercury, a dream car.
Actually, a dream car with a new floating ride. Because actually, it's like floating on a cloud. Never before have so many advances been teamed together for your riding comfort. Advances like this Mercury exclusive, the industry's first full cushion shock absorbers. Shock absorbers that adjust instantly to changing road conditions. They have full cushion action to control rebound on any road. Now, these new Mercury shock absorbers have not just 4 valves like other cars, but 6 valves, 2 extra valves to more efficiently soak up all the bumps so you don't have to, even when the going gets rough. And now, if you please, let's take a look at this very cute gal. Watch how easily she applies her lipstick. Her arm is steady, her hand is even. She rides the way you'll ride, in velvet comfort. Now next, another exclusive. Mercury engineers took the Big M's famous ball joint front suspension and swept back the control arm. So now, instead of the wheels being bounced into bumps, Mercury's wheels are pulled over, gently, like that. And then the engineers lowered Mercury's center of gravity so this longer, lower Big M hugs the corner closer than ever. Actually, it's the same principle a skier uses when he crouches for a turn. And Mercury's built lower for greater stability and handling ease. And don't forget Mercury's new bigger size and weight. Nearly 2 tons big, spread with precision, balance over a longer wheelbase. So you get big size, big length, big heft for a smooth, road-hugging, even-keel ride. The new floating ride in the biggest, longest, widest Mercury ever built. No other automobile in America has it, so tomorrow you see the Big M 457
with floating ride and dream car design at your Mercury dealers now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report that the new 1957 Lincoln is living up to all of its predictions because since its introduction, the demand for this new Lincoln has been nearly twice as great as it was last year at this time. And you'll remember that last year was the biggest in Lincoln history. Now here is the car that's lighting the way in the fine car field. And the dramatically different look of Lincoln's quadra-like grille and all the way down the long, low, lovely lines that set this car apart as unmistakably Lincoln. It's a perfect blend of beauty and performance, so you see and drive the Lincoln this week. And actually, I advise you to get your order in early because already in the case of certain models, the demand has outstripped the supply, even though we're building them as fast as we can. Lincoln for 1957, unmistakably the finest in the fine car field. The announcement of our new 57 Mercury with dream car design has caused more excitement than any car in recent years. Never before has a car anything like the new dream car Mercury been displayed without the familiar warning, "Do not touch." But with the announcement of the Big M 457, we changed that warning to an invitation. Not only is this a car to dream about, the 1957 Mercury is America's first dream car in full production. It's a car you can touch, a car you can drive, a car you can own now. The Big M 457 is America's first production dream car, straight out of tomorrow. Just look, over 17.5 feet of dream car. The long, 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 almost never-ending sweep of it. Mercury, bigger in every way. Wide across the rear, massive, powerful, with new integrated roof styling. See how the new channel in the roof extends right down into the rear deck. Distinctive. The roof line, long, slender, straight line. A completely new concept in roof design. Mercury, long and wide, with shoulder and hip room for 1, 2, 3 big men, front or rear. He's 6 feet 1, yet he has so much headroom inside the Big M. The 1957 Mercury, a true dream car, more exciting than any of the experimental cars you've seen at the auto shows. And whether you choose this brilliant new Montclair 4-door sedan or America's most beautiful hardtop, the Montclair Phaeton sedan, you will be buying the year's most completely new car, the 1957 Mercury with dream car design straight out of tomorrow. For those who might have just tuned in, we are shortly going to have a visit to Rita Hayworth, Bob Mitchum, and Jack Lemmon. We're going to meet Marion Marlowe and a lot of others. But right now, I'd like to remind you that last week when we were out in Detroit, we showed you your first view of the new 1957 Lincoln. Now, everyone concerned, newspaper editors, automobile experts, and fine car owners all agree that this is the most exciting fine car they've ever seen. And the thing that interested us was they all commented on what we showed you last week, the new quadra-like grille, America's first 4 headlamp design. Now, they commented on Lincoln's longer, lower styling and the distinctively canted rear blades. Now, I know that when a new car comes out, you want to see it without interruption, and that's just what we're going to let you do now. So here it is, with the Lincoln theme as a background, Lincoln for 1957. Now, there you've seen it, and I'm going to ask you a civil question. Isn't that a beautiful car that you've just seen? Well, I can certainly tell you this about the 1957 Lincoln. It is years ahead in fine car performance, too. Its 300-horsepower engine is the most powerful Lincoln engine ever, and its new turbo drive transmission delivers magnificent power smoothly and quietly to give you a totally new kind of driving ease and security. And the famous Lincoln Hydro cushion ride is better than ever. Now, all of these things combine to give you a totally new kind of driving ease and comfort. So remember, if you haven't seen this greatest Lincoln ever built, you visit your Lincoln showroom this week, and you see and drive the new Lincoln for 1957. Now more than ever, unmistakably the finest in the fine car field. Here tonight in our show, we showed you the new 1957 Lincoln, let you take a good look at it, and now to tell you about the car that's getting the biggest reception in Lincoln's history, here is Julia Meade.
Thank you, Ed. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Lincoln for 1957. The dramatically new car with a distinctive Lincoln identity from every viewpoint. Take first Lincoln's Quadralight grille that commands attention for this car day or night. Lincoln for 1957, you know, is America's first car with 4 headlight designs. Seen from the side, Lincoln's clean, fresh styling gives new meaning to Lincoln beauty with longer, lower, lovelier lines. From the rear also, you cannot mistake Lincoln for any other car. The unique canted blades rise and end in the pyramid taillight. Everyone who has seen this long, low, lovely Lincoln at the dealer's showroom has been so enthusiastic about the magnificent new interior, with the widest selection of colors, rich fabrics, and luxurious leathers in Lincoln's history. Inside, in addition to all the power assists that you naturally expect on a truly fine car, look at a few of the many extra luxuries that 1957 Lincoln offers you. The new 6-way power seat adjusts automatically to any position, even tilts back and forth for your ultimate driving comfort. And this rear view mirror adjusts very easily from the inside. Even the side vent windows are powered. And here the electric door lock on the instrument panel locks all doors at once with just the flick of a switch. And for even greater safety, a light goes on to warn you if all the doors are not properly closed. Inside and out, every dramatically new detail makes Lincoln for 1957 more than ever unmistakably the finest in the fine car field.
Thank you so much, Julia. And now you've just seen a few of the reasons why the 1957 Lincoln is such a great car. Now, the other half of the story is that this magnificent automobile not only looks the part, but can play the part, too, as you'll find out once you go into your Lincoln dealers and drive it for yourself. Yes, Lincoln for 1957 is truly the new standard in the fine car field.
Next week, The Ed Sullivan Show. Elvis Presley in person. And the first TV showing of Frank Loesser's musical, The Most Happy Fella. Starring Robert Wheaty. With Joe Sullivan, Susan Johnson, and the Broadway Company of 40. Spain's comedy ventriloquist, Senor Wences. The English comedienne, Joyce Grenfell. From Ireland, the little Gaelic singers of County Derry. And other headliners.
Thank you, Arthur. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you with Elvis Presley next week.
Good evening. I'm Hugh Downs. The occasion here tonight is the introduction of the 1958 Ford. I'm glad you could join us because we're about to show you just exactly what makes a new car new. And I mean really new, in all the things that count. And now, the car that was proved and approved around the world, the 1958 Ford. Ford for 58, new in every way. New styling, new power, new performance, new handling, new comfort, new ride. There's nothing newer in the world. In styling, again, Ford sets the pace with the newest look in automotive design. Every detail is new, beautifully combining fashion and function. Metal sculptured into rich beauty. This is true high style. This is bold new style. Notice the strikingly original design of the new sculptured rear deck, the new horizontally mounted safety twin taillights, and the gracefully high-canted tail fins. This is the new Ford look that brought home the Bravos from Paris to Saigon. And now, the latest version of America's all-time favorite convertible, the new 1958 Ford Sunliner. It's hot, it's handsome, it's a honey to handle. Further proof that Ford makes all the difference in the world. Under that hood is Ford's new Interceptor V8 engine with precision fuel induction, the greatest V8 advance in 25 years. Every nut, bolt, washer is new. A completely new engine delivering up to 300 horsepower. Greater power from less gas. Team it with Ford's new Cruise-O-Matic drive, and you'll get gas savings up to 15%, as well as brilliant new responsiveness. And every 58 Ford has new Magic Circle steering that makes turning as easy as pointing. Here's the 58 Ford Country Squire, one of 6 new Ford station wagons. Like all Ford station wagons and Fairlane and Fairlane 500 models, it's available with the newest suspension system in the industry, Ford Air suspension. It rides you smooth and level regardless of load or road conditions. In styling, in performance, in handling, in comfort, in all the things that really make a new car new, there's nothing newer in the world than the 58 Ford. It's at your Ford dealers now.
This is Inverness Club, last year the scene of golf's #1 event, the National Open. And just a chip shot away sit 3 National Open champions from Ford, the only complete line of convertibles in America, featuring this newest first from Ford, the 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. Watch, the rear deck lid has opened up. The power control top rises, then disappears out of sight into the exclusive hideaway compartment. The rear deck lid hides it completely, and you have one flowing line of pure Thunderbird beauty. Here's a car that gives 4 people all the individual room and comfort of a much larger, costlier car, plus glamour and dazzling performance that's all Thunderbird, all the way. There's never been any convertible, at any price, anything like this new 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. Now, let's close in on America's all-time favorite convertible, the Ford Sunliner. It has the only convertible top in its field with double-stitched main seams attached to the roof supports so it won't billow up in the wind. You just can't get more convertible for less money than the Ford Sunliner, America's lowest-priced convertible. But say, what could be more convertible than the beautiful Ford Skyliner, the world's only retractable hardtop? It's literally 2 fine cars in one, and you can have your choice at the touch of a button. Best of all, the Skyliner is priced lower than most medium-priced soft-top convertibles. Pick your own kind of wide-open fun from Ford's 3 National Open champions. See the only complete line of convertibles in America at your Ford dealers. This is Mrs. William Hawker of Pleasantville, New York. Recently, the Hawkers bought a 1958 Ford station wagon. Why Ford? Well, let's ask her.
For one thing, I think it's the newest and smartest looking station wagon there is. And it's so easy to drive and park. Oh, and another important reason was the price. We shopped them all, and we found out that Ford offers the lowest price station wagons of the low price 3. We were really amazed.
The Hawkers Country Sedan is one of 6 low-priced Ford station wagons, including the 2-door ranch wagon, the lowest priced of them all. Here's another new Ford owner, Mr. Len White of San Rosita, California. Why did you choose a Ford, Mr. White?
Well, I'm sort of a bug on performance. I don't think anyone knows how to build a better V8 engine than Ford. I've got the big new Interceptor V8 in this car, and it really delivers. The clincher, though, was the price tag. Why, do you know, this Ford Sunliner is actually the lowest priced convertible in the country.
Easy to see, isn't it? Why the Ford Sunliner has been America's favorite convertible for years. Now, meet Mr. Bob Thomas of Toledo, Ohio, proud owner of a new Ford Custom 300. Here's his story. I'm a traveling salesman, on the go all the time. I bought a Ford so I'd be comfortable while I'm going from place to place. Because this car really rides smooth. I save money, too. This Custom 300's the lowest priced car of the low-priced 3. Costs even less than last year. Now, how could I turn down a deal like that? 2-door or 4-door, the Custom 300 is the lowest priced car of the low-priced 3. See your Ford dealer soon and see how much you get and how much you save with a 58 Ford, the only car in the industry to lower prices this year.
Hi there. You know, I've been meeting a lot of interesting Ford owners on my vacation, and I thought you might like to hear from one. This is Mr. Clarence Hunt of Twin Falls, Oregon. Now, you go right ahead, Mr. Hunt. You tell him just what you told me about how there's no sense paying all that money for one of those high-priced cars when you can get everything you want in a 58 Ford. Now, take styling. Like you said, this Fairlane 500's got the prettiest lines this side of a Thunderbird. In fact, that's just where they came from. Say, do you mind if I sit a while during your talk, Mr. Hunt?
Oh, no.
Well, now, look, don't forget to tell him about how every Ford has safety glass in every window, and about how you've got the all-new V8 engine that powers the Thunderbird. Oh, yes, sirree, that's a lot of engine. Quiet, well-behaved, always ready to do what you want it to do. When it comes to knowing how to build a V8 engine, you just can't beat a Ford. Hey, I see you've got Cruise-O-Matic Drive. Well, then, you're sure of getting the most miles for your money. Teamed with T-Bird's V8, it'll save you as much as 15 cents on every gas dollar. Now, isn't that about what you figure, Mr. Hunt? And looky here. Power steering, power windows, radio. Boy, you got the works. That's just wonderful. Well, when you buy a low-priced Ford, you've got money left over for extras. Well, like you said, Mr. Hunt, why buy a stripped-down bottom-of-the-line, medium-priced car when for much less money you can get a big, fully equipped Ford like this? Did you want to say something else?
Would it be all right if I waved to my family in Twin Falls?
Why, after that testimonial, anything, Mr. Hunt. Anything. As a matter of fact, I think I'll join you.
Say, looks like young Chuck Green's got himself a new Ford. And one of those big, beautiful Ford Fairlane 500s, too. He must have moved up in the world fast. Hey, Chuck, how come the new Ford?
Because I'm a smart trader, that's how come. You know, right now is when Ford dealers need room for next year's models. So they're making real good deals on this year's models. And I took advantage of the situation to get just the kind of a car I've always wanted.
But a Ford Fairlane 500, Chuck. All that luxury.
Well, I happen to like luxury, don't you? Look. I got the works. Power steering, power brakes, power windows, automatic transmission, everything. Notice the good-looking fabric I picked, too. And white walls, two-tone paint job. I didn't hold back a bit. A man doesn't have to hold back the way they're making trades on these Ford Fairlane 500s today. Maybe you ought to think about getting one.
Sure, think it over, but don't take too long, because the time to get the Ford Fairlane 500 of your dreams is now. For instance, you can have this long, low, glamorous Fairlane 500 hardtop, either two-door or four-door, whichever you choose. Or this might be just the opportunity you've been waiting for to get a brand new Sunliner. Ford's contribution to sunshine living and a favorite convertible everywhere. Or perhaps you'd rather have one of Ford's beautifully styled Fairlane 500 sedans. Again, you can have a choice of either two-door or four-door models. Yes, here's your chance to get a car you'll be really proud of in a deal of a lifetime with Thunderbird V8 power, plus all the extras needed for luxury driving. These Ford Fairlane 500s are available right now. But hurry, they won't last long. See your Ford dealer today.
Now, the Ernie Ford Players present Miracle on Main Street, starring, well, you know what kind of a car this is, because there's not another like it in the world. This is the fabulous Ford Skyliner in person. You know, I own a Skyliner just like this one, and I've probably put the top up and down 100 times, but still, every time I push the button that starts all this going, I get as excited as a kid with a brand new toy. By now, I guess everybody knows what the Skyliner does, how it changes from a steel hardtop to a wide-open convertible and back again just by touching a button. Now, hold it, it's just right there. Look at all the luggage the Skyliner can swallow up. Even with the top down, you can carry all the luggage you'll need on your next trip away from home. Okay, lower away. You know, the Skyliner is really two fine cars in one, and you can choose the one you want as often as you want. The top mechanism is designed like an expensive watch, and Ford's engineers have tested it thousands of times without mechanical failure. And, of course, like every Ford, it has safety glass in every window. Now, here's a surprise. The Skyliner is priced lower than most medium-priced soft-top convertibles. Miracle on Main Street? Oh, it sure is. But miracles are a habit with Ford, where it's a tradition to be first with the newest and the finest. Now, with the operation completed, notice that sleek sweep of the rear deck. There's no boot there. In fact, no sign of a top at all. Visit your Ford dealer soon and try out the world's only retractable hardtop, the Ford Skyliner.
You know it's almost June. Anybody out there heading for a wedding? Now, you let Uncle Ern give you some practical advice. Well, now, you know, you old married hands can listen to this, too. Now, it's natural when a young couple wants to start out married life with a brand new car, and you probably want it with all the fancy frills, too, right? Well, now, you don't have to go paying a fancy price. You don't have to when Ford puts out this whistling Fairlane 500. Isn't that something? It beats the medium-priced cars at their own game by giving you the same luxury, only at much lower prices. And that includes all the trimmings, too, now. Like, for instance, in here, they've got radio, heater, power steering, automatic transmission, white sidewall tires, two-tone paint. You know, when you buy a low-priced Ford, you've got money left over for extras. So why settle for a stripped-down, bottom-of-the-line, medium-priced car when for less money you can get a big, fully equipped Ford like this? Fact is, model for model, equipped the way most people want their cars, Ford is priced lower than its nearest competitor in the low-priced field. And that's only the beginning of your savings when you team it up with Thunderbird V8 engine with Cruise-O-Matic drive. You can start putting up to 15 cents out of every gas dollar right in the piggy bank. So much for savings. Now, let's talk about looks. You'll have to get up pretty early in the morning to find a car that'll do you any prouder than a Ford Fairlane 500, or that'll ride you any safer. Like every Ford, it has safety glass in every window.
So whether you're heading for a honeymoon or a golden anniversary, remember, you can pay more, but what for? You can't buy better than a new Ford.
You are present for one of the most important social events of the year. The affair tonight is a coming-out party, and the guest of honor is a dazzling beauty, as you'll soon see. Your host, Mr. Dick Powell.
Well, hello there. I'm glad you can be with us tonight because this is a most unusual party with the most unusual guest of honor. And here it comes now. That fabulous beauty, Ford's new four-passenger Thunderbird. No doubt about it. Ford has created a completely new size and type of automobile in this four-passenger Thunderbird. There's nothing else like it on the road. It's truly America's most individual car. This jewel of a car stands only a bit higher than a racer, but it seats 4 people in elegant comfort. How is this possible? Ford engineers have designed the whole body, including the frame, as one single piece of sculptured steel. Look how easy it is to get out of, even for a lady in an evening dress. That's because the doors are unusually wide, and the right front seat folds down completely for the convenience of those in the rear. It's amazing, but you actually get more headroom and legroom in Ford's new Thunderbird than in many of the largest luxury cars. I'm 6 feet tall. This lad towers over me, yet there was plenty of room even for him. Let's take a closer look at the interior. The instrument panel is the most impressive thing you'll find this side of a jet plane. And notice this new console next to all passengers. It has heater, window controls, and ashtrays at your fingertips. So what about power? Well, you have a choice of 2 Thunderbird engines, either 300 horsepower or 375 horsepower. You've got a real thrill ahead of you when you put this powerhouse through its paces. And just look at that trunk space. Over 20 cubic feet, enough room for a whole family's luggage. You don't have to travel light in the Thunderbird. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is fabulous fun for Ford. The most elegantly different car you can own. And it can be yours at a price far below that of other luxury cars. This is a glittering occasion as America greets another first from Ford. The new 4-passenger Thunderbird.
The new Thunderbird is coming to your Ford dealers soon. Watch for it. See and drive it at your first opportunity.
This is Inverness Club, last year the scene of golf's #1 event, the National Open. And just a chip shot away sit 3 National Open champions from Ford, the only complete line of convertibles in America, featuring this newest first from Ford, the 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. Watch, the rear deck lid has opened up. The power control top rises. Then disappears out of sight into the exclusive hideaway compartment. The rear deck lid hides it completely, and you have one flowing line of pure Thunderbird beauty. Here's a car that gives 4 people all the individual room and comfort of a much larger, costlier car, plus glamour and dazzling performance that's all Thunderbird, all the way. There's never been any convertible, at any price, anything like this new 4-passenger Ford Thunderbird convertible. We'd like to take you now to a very exciting and wonderful place, Thunderbird Country. Where is Thunderbird Country? Well, it's north, south, east, west. It's wherever you find active people, people of spirit, and people of taste. We have a special reason for taking you to Thunderbird Country, and this is it. The brilliant new version of an American classic, another Ford first. Ford's new 4-passenger Thunderbird. Look how easy it is to get into. That's because the door is so wide and the right front seat folds down completely. And just look at all the room inside. Yes, now it's twice the fun to own a Ford Thunderbird because now you can share the thrill with 3 deserving friends. And what a thrill it is! With its totally new 300 horsepower Thunderbird special engine, this new 4-passenger beauty delivers the kind of performance only the Thunderbird can deliver. Nimble, super responsive, and balanced just right. This polished jewel of a car handles with incredible ease and grace. And there's another thrill about driving Ford's newest masterpiece. It's utterly distinctive. No wonder it turns heads wherever it goes. Here's America's most individual car. In fact, it's the only car of its kind in the world. For now, the Thunderbird carries 4 people in elegant comfort. If you've always wanted a Ford Thunderbird, and who hasn't, now's the time to get one. For all this car can be yours at a price far below that of other luxury cars.
And now for the moment I'm sure you've all been looking forward to. A look at the newest member of the Ford family of fine cars, the Edsel. Edsel, the car that is already making automotive history for Ford Motor Company. A new and different car in every respect, yet with a classical element of conservatism in its styling, which will give it maximum appeal. Its flowing, graceful lines, sculptured into the sheet metal, are clean and dignified. Yet it is excitingly different from anything on the road today. The car you are looking at here is the Citation, the top series in the Edsel line. In addition, as you know, we will offer 3 other series: the Ranger, the Pacer, and the Corsair, which will compete right across the medium price market. Edsel will offer in its 4 series a total of 18 body styles, including a full line of station wagons. Every one of them will be tops in its field in styling, performance, and features. Here are some of the new features which will be introduced in the Edsel this fall. This is our Teletouch transmission control. You can drive the Edsel, park it, and reverse it with ease. A flick of the Teletouch button makes an electrical contact, and a motor engages the transmission. This instrument cluster follows the most advanced automotive developments. We've placed all instrument switches and warning signals for convenience and visibility. This dial temp heater and ventilation control tunes in temperature, ventilation, and even optional air conditioning. In place of the old-fashioned knobs, you select the climate you want with a twist of the wrist. These visual reminders help you watch oil pressure, fuel level, oil level,
and engine temperature. They also tell whether the generator is charging and whether the emergency brake is off. Preset this dial at the speed you want. When you exceed this speed, the speedometer dial lights up red in warning. A big reason for the outstanding performance of the Edsel is the E475 engine in this citation. The engine is named for the 475 foot-pounds of torque it develops. This torque is usable power, another top-selling feature of the Edsel. You'll want to take a closer look at the Edsel so that you can help tell America about the newest car in the Ford family. Edsel cars will go on display in advance of public showings in most company locations beginning August 27th. Don't miss seeing it.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
the Ford Motor Company would like you to see the new styling, the new features of the beautiful new Edsel, newest member of the Ford family of fine cars.
could we see it?
Certainly.
You never saw a car like the 58 Edsel.
Never?
Never.
More new ideas, more you ideas in the great exciting new Edsel.
Brake still on?
You can tell in the Edsel when the light goes on.
Engine cold?
You can tell in the Edsel when the light goes on.
Getting low on gas?
You can tell in the Edsel when the light goes on.
May we repeat?
There's never been a car like the 58 Edsel.
This is the way you sit in the Edsel. Contour seats made for three.
This is the way you can drive the Edsel. Tell it, let's drive on the steering wheel, see.
This is the way you can open the trunk. Right on the dash, you turn the key.
Never been a car like the 58 Edsel.
But what about prices?
Many prices. You can get an Edsel price lower than half the models in the low-price 3.
It's the only one that's really different.
The Ford Motor Company built it so you know it's good.
How does it feel to own an Edsel?
It's like falling in love.
You can read about it, hear about it, but you've got to feel it. Feel the thrill of owning an Edsel. Oh, your step is snappy.
When you own an Edsel,
your pulse beats happy.
when you drive an Edsel,
Cause you've got to drive it to feel what this great new car can do for you.
you know why?
It's a car designed around you. From the Ford family of fine cars.
Edsel, designed for elegance, engineered for action. 1958's one really new car, the Edsel. And your Edsel dealer present Wagon Train. The most beautiful thing that ever happened to horsepower. That's the 1958 Edsel. Edsel, the car that's fresh from the ground up, presents 1958's only lean, clean lines that set it apart from the look-alike cars and presents them in 18 different models. This good-looking Edsel Ranger sedan is one of several Edsel sedans you can choose from. This handsome Edsel Corsair two-door hardtop was picked from a wide choice of Edsel two-door hardtop models. And here is the beautiful citation four-door hardtop, one of an equally wide choice of four-door hardtops. The newest station wagons in America come in no less than 5 models, designed to fit every family need. Unlike most cars, the Edsel presents 2 elegant convertibles. This stunning pacer
and the magnificent Citation. It also offers you over 90 car color schemes with handsome harmonizing interiors. And remember, of all the medium-priced cars, car for car across the board, the 1958 Edsel is the one that's really new and the lowest price, too. So for the deal of your lifetime, see your Edsel dealer.
The Big M! Mercury for 1958. Performance champion. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mercury and your Mercury dealer bring you the Ed Sullivan Show. Named America's #1 TV variety show, starring the nationally syndicated columnist of the New York Daily News, Ed Sullivan.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are starting this is the first show of our 11th fall season on TV. And because this is sort of a milestone in our record, we have a big show lined up for you. And now I want you to meet somebody who has been with us, well, just as long as Sullivan, our good friend, Mercury. And tonight I'd like to talk to all of you as if we were next-door neighbors. And as a matter of fact, we do have a lot of things in common. We both like to drive fine cars. Well, as you know, this is the car that I drive. The Park Lane, which is Mercury's finest. And it's quite a car, and it has everything you'd ever expect in a fine car, and yet you can buy it at a sensible price. Now, with most cars, as you know, you have to pay extra for special equipment. And as you know, that really adds up. But not in our Park Lane. Now, let me show you what I mean. Now, in the first place, you don't have to pay extra for these special power brakes. You don't have to pay extra for power steering or for the safety steering wheel. You don't have to pay extra for multi-drive automatic transmission. You don't have to pay extra for padded instrument panels. Or you don't have to pay extra for the electric clock. Or you don't have to pay extra for these wonderful foam rubber cushions or any part of Mercury's interior. But finally, up front, you don't pay a penny extra to get Mercury's new 360 horsepower Marauder V8 engine. So between you and Sullivan, I can honestly tell you that this is truly a fine car at a sensible price. You get an awful lot for your money, and especially right now. So drop around to your dealer's showroom tomorrow morning and ask him to show you the most beautiful buy in any 58 car. The Park Lane by Mercury. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, before I bring on Domenico Modugno, tonight we're going to conduct a little experiment because there's a young man here who's going to try to read my mind. How about it? Are you ready, old Dr. Stevens?
I'll do my best, Ed. You just sit down here and relax. Now, let's assume that you have a car that's 4 years old.
No, Lee. I've got a new 58 Mercury.
Ed, we're just pretending. Mm-hmm. You are a customer in a Mercury showroom. The month is September. And you're trying to decide whether to trade in your 1955 model. Now, concentrate, Ed. What is the first thought that pops into your mind? You're right, money.
Well, everybody thinks of that.
Now, concentrate again, Ed. This question has two answers. Why is the month of September one of the best months in the year in which to buy a new Mercury? Year-end values, right. High trade-in. Again, you're right.
Lee, you're magnificent.
Thank you, Ed. Now, when I point out a part of this new Mercury, you give me the first thought that crosses your mind.
Championship trophy.
Right. No other car on the road can match this Mercury for all-around performance and handling ease. It's the Performance Champion for 58.
All right, now, Lee, give me a really tough one.
Okay, Ed, here it comes. When you look inside of a Mercury and you see all of that space and comfort and room for the whole family, what does it remind you of? That's perfect, Ed. Perfect. Because believe me, sitting in a new Mercury is like reclining and relaxing in your own living room easy chair. Now, one final question, Ed.
I'm ready, Master.
Okay. When you think of clean line, modern styling, what is your first thought? The Big M.
That is right, Mercury, and I do hope that all of you at home will be thinking tonight about going to see your Mercury dealer tomorrow morning for a real buy. Now, for you youngsters, we haven't seen yet Jimmy Rogers. We saw him once. We're going to see him again, the Sparkle Tones and Paul Anka and Sam Cooke. But right now, the TV debut of the most magnificent motor cars of our time, the new Lincoln for 1958 and the incomparable new Continental Mark III.
Presenting classic elegance in motor cars. The new Continental Mark III, the ultimate in fine car craftsmanship. Here is the car that embodies all the rich traditions of the historic Continentals of the past. A motor car crafted without compromise. An entirely new concept in uncommon luxury. The new Continental Mark III, inspiration for the magnificent new Lincoln for 1958. Now, here to present these new fine cars to you is Julia Mead.
Good evening. This is the beautiful new Lincoln for 1958, styled and crafted in the classic Continental tradition. The clean, pure lines of this longest, lowest, most spacious Lincoln ever have an elegance and grace without equal in the realm of fine cars. And here is a car that is meant to be driven. Every known power assist is at your command to make driving a Lincoln an experience rivaled by no other fine car on the road. And for an extra measure of lasting quietness, these are the only fine cars with single-unit body and frame construction. There it is, a fresh, distinctively new personality in the fine car field, Lincoln for 1958. And here, without a doubt, is the most beautiful motor car ever built, the new Continental Mark III convertible, one of the 4 exciting new Continental models. These cars are built in the newest, most modern automobile plant in the world, with the highest standards of craftsmanship. And because of this, the Continental Mark III is now priced just slightly above the fine car field. Inside, you'll find the choicest imported leathers and the finest fabrics custom fitted to your taste. And power assist, the Continental has everyone known, making it supremely easy to command. The Continental Mark III, truly classic elegance in its finest form.
Lincoln for 1958. And its inspiration, the incomparable new Continental Mark III, the most magnificent new motor cars of our time.
are really knockouts, aren't they? I have my eye on one I saw out at the factory. It's a Mark III in peach. Oh, brother, this is really the job. So you stop in at your Continental and Lincoln dealers this week and see these magnificent new cars for yourself. Now we've got Jimmy Rogers coming up and the Dancers of Bally and Sam Cooke, but right now, if you're like I am, you appreciate our real bargain. Well, tonight I've got one for you, and it's this big, luxurious Mercury Montclair. And it's not the lowest price Big M, mind you, but Mercury's luxury line. The last of these beautiful Big M Montclairs are at Mercury showrooms right now. And they're really forced to sell fast, as you know, because your Mercury dealer is cleaning the decks. He's cleaning out the last of his 57 stock to make room for the 58 models. Now, as I've been telling you, there's already a lot of 58 in our 57 Mercury, especially in this beautiful Montclair, because it's a car that's just loaded with luxury features, features that many of the other 58 cars are just now introducing. For instance, you can get these quadra-beam headlamps that are just now showing up on the 58 cars. And how about this, the Big M's exclusive Mercumatic keyboard control? Another advanced feature is yours now as standard equipment at no extra cost. Now, under this hood, right here, there's Mercury's famous V8 engine, plus a 4-barrel carburetor and the Big M's exclusive power booster fan, all at no extra cost. You even get dual exhaust as standard equipment. Now, I told you this was a luxury car, and to prove it, all you have to do is look inside. You'll find loads of luxury extras, all at no extra cost. Padded instrument panel, deep pile carpets, foam rubber seats, and look at the size of our Big M. It's bigger by far than many of the new 58 cars. Mercury is really a big, heavy, solid car, solidly built to grip the road and hold it. So if you've been waiting for a bargain, believe me, there's no need to wait a day longer. Buy a Mercury Montclair tomorrow and treat yourself to real luxury driving and enjoy 1958 styling at 1957 closeout prices.
And now here's Lee Stevens in our studio audience.
Thank you, Dick. Out here in the audience, we're happy to have with us hundreds of families visiting New York this weekend. And that's the way it is clear across the country. Over the holiday, families doing things together. Let me show you some pictures we took.
This is the way a neighborhood drive-in looks tonight out in California. Hundreds of family groups enjoying a movie together. This morning in northern Wisconsin, another family launched their new sailboat.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Right here, we're cooking up a family get-together of our own.
But you know, being together is one thing. But being too close together, that's another story. That's why Mercury built a car for a space-loving family, like yours and mine. Take yourself when you're driving. You don't want to sit here like a bump on a log. Of course not. You want room, space to spread out and relax. Well, that's what you've got in the new Mercury. Oh, you know what this is? Foam rubber. Mercury's foam rubber seat cushions. More comfort for you. And whether you're all alone or have three in front, there's room for everybody. By the way, how about our friend in the back seat? Hey, that looks like me. But I could be you. And I'm sure you don't want to be all squeezed up like a crushed pineapple. Well, you're not in a Mercury. All around you, a world of space, quiet, and solid comfort. Let's see you try this in some of the others. You can in a Mercury. Because this is the car for people who like being together, but not too close together. So long.
Bye.
There goes the 1958 Mercury. A fun-loving car for a space-loving family, like yours. This week, why don't you take your family and try on a Mercury for size?
Try it on for price, too, because with all its comfort and luxury, a 58 Mercury is easily within your reach. It's a great car value. So check with your Mercury dealer this week. In the meantime, have a very wonderful Labor Day holiday, and above all, drive safely. Skyliners. And next on our show, Sammy Tong, who is appearing with John Forsythe in the delightful comedy, That's the Father.
Oh, hello. My name's Sammy. I work for Smith Family. They're very strange customs. You what? Smith Family journey to far-off summer place. Hibernate in woods. Boss man very wise. Owns big Mercury. Good thing, too. Boss lady takes much. Oh, takes too much. Number one boy take pet hobby. Girl take small pet. Pet take house. No, house not go. Please to observe. Mercury magic. Little one turn key. Expedition ready to load. Big question. Will cargo fit space? Big Mercury have more floor space than any other wagon. Fit easy. Mercury plenty room. Expedition forward drive. People very happy. Even family friends. Please notice, Mercury give instant response. Boss man most pleased. Notice hot top styling. Only Mercury have. With special back window. Plenty power. Ride smooth. Very pretty car. Now, end of long day. Expedition halt. Notice, nobody tired. Even longest journey pleasant in Mercury. Pause now for commercial. You see, you be smart like Boss Man, Smith Family. You see Mercury dealer soon.
Wonderful fun for me to be here with you for this entire show. I hope that you've had as much fun as I've had with all these youngsters here. I hope that Ed has a pleasant journey home. I know you'll be glad to see him back, but I personally would like to thank you very, very much for allowing me to be on his show. Thank you, and I'll see you on the good old Zane Grey Theater real soon. Good night. Thank you.
Mercury, and your Mercury dealer has presented the Ed